My sole object in this, my own story, is to vindicate my name from the horrible aspersions cast upon it. My friends have been alienated, my nearest kindred plunged in grief, and the world horrified by the bloody recital of imaginary crimes. I now intend a narrative, a true narrative, of my life, and a full history of my associations with Mr. and Mrs. B.F. Peitzel and their children, the alleged disappearance of Minnie Williams, and the tragic death of her sister Nanny. Come with me, if you will, to the New England village of Gilmanton, nestled in the beautiful rolling hills of New Hampshire. Here in May of 1861, I, Herman Webster Mudgett...
Herman Mudgett?
I, Herman Webster Mudgett, in May of 1861, was born to loving and religious parents.
Herman Mudgett, you are Henry Howard Holmes. That absurd alliteration seemed clever to an addle brain like you.
As a child, on my way to where school was kept, I had to walk past the office of the village doctor, a place of peculiar abhorrence to me.
Oh, horseshit.
This became known to two of my older schoolmates, who one day moored me shrieking and struggling to a grinning skeleton waiting to seize me.
What?
It was a wicked thing to do, but it cured me of my fears and inculcated in me a strong feeling of curiosity, which resulted of my adopting medicine as a profession.
There was no doctor in Gilmanton, and I was never terrified of a skeleton. Truth is, such a thing would have delighted me.
How are you?
And loving and religious parents.
Who are you?
Father was the village drunk, and mother didn't have the brains of a dormouse, which suited loving father only too well. You must come forth. Lies cannot lighten.
Guards!
Day will soon break, and light as a feather must be your heart.
God in his heaven, am I engaging with phantoms now?
Not quite yet. Just tell truth, old man, the truth of Julia, Minnie, Nanny, Emmeline, Ben, Howard, Alice.
At 19, I decided to commence a medical course, and I matriculated at the University of Vermont, where I remained one college year,
Have you written truth about Clara?
Deciding to complete my course at some larger college.
She is not one of your fictions. She is real. Clara.
What
Clara.
is in my head?
Clara!
I know no Clara!
Even when you abandoned her and your infant son, she remained faithful. A first love. A summer love.
Clara?
You know, no Clara. Chin up, old man. Don't be downhearted. Say to yourself, my place is at the top. Be king in your dreams.
I found that if I wanted to be employed as a doctor, I must pass an examination in the state capitol. And there get my name is Henry Howard Holmes.
Ye gods, that appellation.
I found a small drugstore owned by a sickly physician who wished to sell. I bought it by mortgaging the stock and fixtures. But soon, my landlord would have wanted to increase my mortgage, so to protect myself, I was forced to purchase, at great expense, the property opposite and erect a building thereon.
May I ask, have you a bucket?
Here,
have you a bucket?
Here,
a bucket, a pail.
A bucket, a pail! You can see there is no bucket.
Then I will regurgitate onto the floor, I suppose.
I'm not engaging with a fever dream, a hallucination. I am not. Here my real troubles commenced.
Troubles commenced. Yes, but not for you. Troubles for the women.
Sir, may I help you? May I help you, sir?
I've come about. Go on. You know this. I've come about.
I've
come about.
I've come about
Go on.
the
Advertisement.
advertisement.
Oh?
I've come about the advertisement. You are in need of apothecary.
Oh, yes, very much so.
Well, my name is Dr. Henry
Howard Holmes. Yes. Truth is, you knew they needed a druggist because Dr. Holton was dying and didn't survive the summer.
It must be a shock.
Well, it was not unexpected.
Yes, still, the passing of a loved one.
It is hard, Dr. Holmes, very hard.
Yes, hard, but please, call me Henry.
Oh, well, Henry?
Forgive me, may I speak candidly?
Of course.
I've seen the terrible strain your husband's passing has put on you.
Oh, you have?
It is obvious you are of a sensitive and delicate nature.
Well, my late husband always said as much.
So I have a prescription, a cure, if you will, for your cares.
Oh?
I buy the pharmacy.
Buy the pharmacy?
For a fair sum, a more than fair sum, which I will mortgage and pay every month. I assure you, dear lady, you shall have no further pecuniary worries.
I have nowhere else. This is more than a store. It is
A home! Your home! Of course, of course!
It is!
And so it shall remain! I'm sure this place holds many precious memories.
Oh, yes. My dear husband and I were very happy here.
Then stay! And have not a care in the world.
Mr. Holmes.
Henry.
Mr. Holmes, it has been months since your last mortgage payment.
Has it? Well, business has been slow.
The store has been full.
Not everyone buys.
I have seen your books. Your profit. It is very handsome.
Dear lady, you haven't been spying.
You can easily afford your payments. And that is why I have engaged a solicitor.
You've put a lawyer on me.
I have had no choice.
You always have a choice.
Henry, please. I need that money to live.
It is Dr. Holmes, and that is easily remedied.
What is?
You living.
Did you note what you told customers who inquired about the missing Mrs. Holton?
The dear lady has gone to California. You know how deadly Chicago winters are to the elderly. She was in need of a climate more mild.
So mild.
Myrta?
His eyes. When I first saw him when I worked in Miller's music store, he had come in looking for a Stephen Foster song. He said his father knew Foster, and that's when I saw his eyes, when he watched me sing. Beautiful dreamer, wake unto me, starlight and dewdrops are waiting for thee.
Myrta.
Sounds of the rude world heard in the day, lulled by the moonlight, have all passed away. Lulled by the moonlight, have all passed away.
Granted, it is a small store, but it has good clientele. And I have dreams.
Beautiful dreams?
Beautiful dreams, yes. To be king in them.
King?
Andrew Carnegie tells men of ambition to aim high and be king in your dreams. And that is what I intend, that one day you shall be the wife of a millionaire.
Oh, dearest, with you the poorhouse would be Vanderbilt's mansion.
The poorhouse? You doubt me?
Pardon?
You doubt I can achieve my dream?
No, of course not.
Then you are mocking me.
No, that's not what I meant.
I know you are meaning.
I want you to aim high. And I know that you can achieve all your dreams.
There's a cozy flat above. We can live there, save money, build our fortune.
And I will clerk.
You work? No.
I was working when we met.
You were the young and naive Miss Myrta Belknap when we met, but now...
Now I am the wise and mature Mrs. Henry Holmes. And as a woman of the world, I will sing for my supper.
Will you?
And here's the first verse.
There must be something in here about how you taught Myrta to sell nostrums and patent medicines for epilepsy and scarlet fever and female complaints. You, well, truth is, you were well schooled in female complaints.
Henry!
Myrta! What are you doing here?
What am I doing? Who is that?
This is...
Your hands!
Well, I am examining.
What?
For heaven's sake, dear, I'm a doctor.
That was not an examination!
I should go.
Yes, you should!
Myrta, please do not be unfriendly.
What?
I'll go.
Remember the paregoric, and be sure to dissolve the opium in at least 2 tablespoons of hot water. 2!
Yes. Yes.
How could you?
What?
In our home!
I don't know what you're referring
You were
to.
fondling her!
I was examining her.
Go in the dark!
I have no examination room, so I do them where and when I may, and the pharmacy was empty.
You thought you could just have her?
I thought I could just help her. She has many ailments.
Henry,
Women are prone to many diseases because of the reproductive organ.
I need to tell you something.
Reflex irritation is the medical term.
I'm with child.
What?
I'm pregnant.
You are? You are sure? Should I examine?
I am sure.
Well, wonderful.
Is it? I thought the uterus is diseased.
Yes, of course, but it is also women's God-given role. You are to be a mother, my dear, an initiate in the rites of true womanhood.
Same horseshit you gave Clara.
Rights.
Oh, that old poem. Surely you know it. The right to love whom others scorn, the right to comfort, to mourn, the right to shed new joy on earth, the right to feel the soul's high worth.
Such woman's rights a God will bless and crown their champions with success. Gods have mercy!
I feel feverish.
This is to be expected. You are with child.
But what you were doing with that woman,
It is all so clear now.
What is?
Pregnancy brings great changes to the female mind. Once pleasant, she is bitter, trusting, now she is jealous, as you were seeing my harmless examination. But none of this is your fault. You are in a delicate state, and we must guard against miscarriage.
Is that likely?
It is unfortunately common.
My mother miscarried a little boy.
Oh. Had she hemorrhoids? We will keep you from overexertion, so no more pharmacy work. In fact, removing you completely is the best prescription.
Like Clara.
Your mother and father are not far. Simply move back with them.
And leave you here all alone.
Well, you can prepare for the birth without worry or stress. I will visit and send money.
But my father has plenty.
He does, doesn't he?
Oh, he does, doesn't he?
But what about our marriage?
Sweetheart, the most feminine of married virtues is submissiveness.
Oh, what glorious horseshit.
A true woman has a head too small for intellect, but just big enough for love.
I do love you, Henry, so very much I do.
Of course you do. How far?
3 months, I think.
Where, though?
Where? Do you think something's wrong?
Your nipples.
Lord.
My...
The areola assume a darker color during pregnancy. Strange I didn't notice.
Henry!
No need for shyness, sweetheart. After all, I am a doctor.
Funny your own story does not mention Myrta giving birth to little Lucy, who, it must be admitted, you loved dearly, showering her with gifts and affections during your rare visits. And how this worried Myrta's parents. How could you have a true marriage to a husband seldom seen? Still, Myrta did love you and said you were a man on the rise, devoted to his work. Do you write about the thing you were conceiving ever since Mrs. Holton went to California? A grand building full of shops and sleeping rooms and as many women as possible.
Women.
Employed in the shops, locked in the rooms, dropped down the chutes.
It was breathtaking.
It did that.
They called it the castle. People entered on a floor of black and white diamonds while over their heads a Catherine wheel blossomed. They walked past brass fountains and bottles of elixirs that sparkled like jewels. 5 stores occupied the first floor, 35 sleeping rooms on the second, 36 on the third, all fitted with the finest beds and bureaus, rugs and chairs.
Off dark, narrow hallways, some with stairs leading nowhere.
Modern rooms
Airtight.
for a restful night's sleep.
That could be locked from the outside, with peepholes looking in. Hey, fuckhead! What the hell do you think you're doing?
What?
Don't you know your ass from your elbow? You're gone. Boss says you're sacked.
Boss!
Doc Holmes.
I'm Dr. Holmes!
Yeah, and I'm fucking Pierpont Morgan. I said, get the fuck out!
How dare!
You're sacked, I says! On your feet, old man. Did you write about how it was impossible to let any one gang build the secrets of your castle? How after a few weeks, a few days sometimes, your right-hand man, Ben Peitzel, would sack them. And if anyone had any questions, Ben answered with his fists. You were 30 that year and more than ever dedicated to making a fortune, using a useless copy machine as a front for loans, or selling a reviving elixir that was really nothing more than bitters and tap water, and of course,
My miraculous chemical water gas generator.
yes, miraculous.
Gentlemen, please be careful. It is dark here. I know you must think it odd keeping an invention to revolutionize the making of illuminating gas deep in a dark cellar, but I assure you, it is done from a desire to safeguard its amazing secret and to allow forward-thinking investors like yourselves to maximize profit. She is, of course, a prototype. The finished product will let your little wife work it as easily as a cook stove. Now, all we need to do for this demonstration is unscrew the cap on this pipe and add a cup of water. And now, the secret that will revolutionize home life. Into the same pipe is poured my chemical mixture, transforming ordinary tap water into brilliant illuminating gas! Thus, as discussed, 10,000 and it is yours.
Which the gentlemen from Canada were only too eager to pay until they learned that the secret of your flame made from water was really a hidden gas pipe.
Could have made my fortune.
What about the accident, which almost did?
Accident.
Columbus's accidental discovery of the Americas? And Chicago selected to celebrate its quadricentennial. But then, locating your hotel at 63rd and Wallace was no accident.
It was a gamble.
Oh, you are no gambler.
A few greased palms.
Building a World's Fair hotel next to the greatest fair ever built.
It was. It was a wondrous vision of the nation's future.
Built around a grand basin, holding the largest fountain in the world, a ship of state, with fame at the bow and time at the helm.
At the far end of the basin was the Statue of the Republic, a golden goddess 101 feet tall.
Across from her, the agricultural building holding 400,000 square feet of food, produce, and animals, and a 24-foot map of the United States made of pickles.
Manufacturers and liberal arts stood directly across, holding every product in the world, even a new invention called the zipper.
The fisheries held floor-to-ceiling aquariums with the fish of every ocean next door to a seafood restaurant.
Machinery Hall held Whitney's cotton gin and the fair's electrical power plant of 43 steam engines and 127 dynamos.
The transportation building fronted by a grand golden door designed by Louis Sullivan, and the most sought-after exhibit to see was
The Rambler Bicycle.
The Rambler Bicycle.
If you are a businessman,
to clear your brain.
To smooth off rough edges of business cares,
The Rambler Bicycle affords a medium par excellence for comfortable exercise. If you are a woman,
The bicycle affords a most pleasant means for obtaining exercise.
which you
Of all others,
most need.
if you are beautiful,
Bicycle riding will preserve your beauty.
Exercise means health.
there is no real beauty without good health.
If you are not a beauty, if you are not a beauty, if you are not a beauty,
you may at least make yourself.
More attractive. The bicycle
brightens the eyes.
Puts a flush on the cheek.
Takes you out into nature.
to pure, fresh air. They are yours.
Enjoy them.
Do it luxuriously.
On a
Rambler bicycle.
At the Electricity Building, Thomas Edison built a tower of light and showed moving pictures that spoke. But the true marvel,
The true marvel.
The true marvel.
The true marvel. A tall man, creator of the fair's power and light.
Nikola Tesla allowed 2 million volts of electricity to pass over his body, making him glow like an angel.
Or a devil.
no.
No, the true marvel.
The true marvel, the Midway Plaisance.
The Midway.
Lions riding horses,
Tigers peddling velocipedes.
Music and food.
German.
French,
Turkish.
Japanese.
Where you could ride a camel.
go to Bali,
Sit in an electrical theater.
Ride in a captive balloon.
Stroll a street in old Cairo where
the danse du ventre.
The hoochie coochie was danced.
No ordinary Western woman could ever look upon these performances with anything but
abject horror.
At the end of Cairo Street, the Temple of Luxor, where King Solomon was initiated into mysteries by high priests 3,400 years ago.
Sacred dances of the priests of Osiris were performed daily.
holding the mummies of Seti I and Ramses II, oppressor of the Israelites.
Pharaohs lost in the eternal wheel of time.
Under the great wheel of Ferris.
36 railroad cars.
Finished in redwood with plush chairs.
Giving an angel's view of the White City.
And the future it foretold.
The fair turned your suburb of Englewood into a gold rush. Property values tripled and there was a cascade of people seeking employment. People like Asilius Connor, but perhaps you knew him better as,
Ned.
Ned! Oh, he had none of the drive of his more Roman namesake, but he was a competent enough,
Jeweler, you say?
jeweler and watchmaker, yes.
I have no need of jewelers or watchmakers.
I have other skills. Clerking, accounting. I had my own store in
Sorry, old
Davenport.
man, we're just wasting daylight.
Well, if you're sure. Here,
And who might this be?
this is my lovely wife,
I
Julia.
thought I'd lost you.
Yes. Sorry to waste your time, Doctor. We
I
won't bother
think
you
I
anymore.
know, Ned, what brings you and your lovely wife to this city. It is more than the fair. It is what they are calling the Chicago spirit.
The Chicago-
In 71, this city was nothing but ash, and now it is a great metropolis of steel and brick touching the sky.
Skyscrapers? Yes?
Skyscrapers, yes. Enormous steel erections that make some swoon.
Do they?
I assure you, it does. You may have rooms on the 3rd floor, nearby my office.
I'm hired.
Yes, of course, Ned. I said I was in need of a jeweler and
Watchmaker. Actually, you had mentioned
Does he
that you
always
didn't need
go on
anything.
like this?
Nah.
Yes. Sorry, it's wonderful. Wonderful.
Come,
It's just-
Mrs. Connor.
Julia, please.
Well, Julia, please. Come see my castle.
Your castle. And are you its lord?
made flesh.
We have a little girl, Pearl.
Pearl! How apt for a lapidary.
Very good, sir.
It's running a bit slow. Ned! I was just showing your wife a new method of bookkeeping.
Yes.
The double entry system.
Yes.
Well, I must be off. Business matters to attend.
You belong?
I think you know. Ned?
How can you?
What?
You heard me. You know what I mean.
I have no idea what you mean. I rarely do.
Don't you think I know what's been going on these past few months? Don't you?
What are you on about?
Everyone knows about you and him. You do nothing to hide it.
Oh, dear.
How can you treat me like this?
A true man would not allow himself to be treated this way, would he?
Truly, I love you, and we are family.
And I have things to do.
I can no longer allow this.
Allow?
You either break with him or
Oh, do not say that. You will abandon me. Oh, heaven forfend.
Julia, how can you be so heartless?
Well, no such thing. I'll help you pack.
Julia,
Goodbye, Silius.
what about our little Pearl?
She'll be taken care of.
And she wasn't she?
Dear heart, be practical.
I will not. I am having your child, and it will not be a bastard. You promised that you would divorce.
And I will, but...
But
Sweetheart, be practical. I already have a little girl, and marrying you means I'll be adopting Pearl.
and
Well, another child on top of all is a dilemma.
our child, a dilemma.
I have a solution, a procedure that I've done many times, especially in medical school. You'd be astonished at the number of unwanted pregnancies in college towns. But I've never had any complications, and with the use of chloroform, it is completely
I
painless.
do not question your competence.
You question my motive. You do not love me.
No. Oh, dear. You know I do.
Then we may do it tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Christmas Eve.
Is it? Well, no reason to delay.
But Pearl,
I assure you, you will be opening presents with the dear child Christmas morn.
you're sure that...
Julia, if you do not trust me, if you doubt my love for you, I think it best that you take
No. You just let me see the Pearl. Yes?
Of course. How tall are you, my dear?
You already know.
Tell me again.
6 feet. Freakishly tall.
No! It is unique. It is unique. A specimen that will greatly enhance Hahnemann Medical School. Sir, I am surprised by that question. Clearly you can see it is 6 feet tall. Ah, true. The height alone is not unique, but I ask you, sir, how often have you seen a 6 foot tall, articulated female skeleton? Oh, and by the by, I also have the skeleton of a 4-year-old girl, which would complement this one nicely. Say a mother and daughter display. I could let you have her for another $40.
Good. Good. Truth is all.
Are those?
The wedding announcements.
Ah, yes. Your marriage to Robert Phelps.
Yes, but sweetheart,
Yes?
you are certain we may not use your true name, Mrs. Henry Howard Holmes?
Sweetheart, we've been over this.
I know.
There are complications with my divorce.
I know.
This makes matters much simpler.
But by using that name, will we be truly married?
Of course. Absolutely.
Well, I'm sure you know best.
I'm sure I do.
So many secrets. Am I the only one who knows of your English family?
Well, I reckon me English family knows.
Henry, you are the son of an English lord. Why can't people know?
Sweet, innocent Emmeline, look where we are. Chicago, a city of smokestack saloons and pig shit.
Henry!
But then really, what does family matter? Rockefeller's father was a lunatic. Carnegie's an impoverished weaver.
And you will be more than both.
Aim high, saith the weaver's son. Mr. Robert E. Phelps, Miss Emmeline G. Sagrand, married Wednesday, April 7th, 1893, Chicago. You have such a beautiful hand.
Oh, and so do you.
Would you sign these?
What are they?
Nothing. Some life insurance policies, a necessity for old married folk.
Oh. Dear,
Yes?
might we go wheeling after lunch?
You've become quite the cyclist, haven't you?
Oh, it is such emancipation. The wind in my hair, the road rushing by, and now the maiden with her wheel goes spinning round the world.
Wheeling has done wonders for your thighs.
Henry!
Especially when they are wrapped tight about me.
Henry!
Uh-uh.
Robert, I mean,
Yes, Robert, your lord.
my lord.
By the way, would you fetch me last week's receipts for my mineral water?
The Linden Grove?
Have I another?
No.
I believe they're in the safe.
I know just where. Henry? Henry? The door is shut. Henry? Henry, dear? The door is shut. I'm in the dark, dear. I'm in the dark, dear. Henry! Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Henry! 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 You must hear me! Henry! You must hear me! It's getting hard to breathe. Henry! Henry!
The vault is airtight. I think you know that.
Henry! I can't breathe! Henry! Open the door!
I think not.
Henry! Henry! Open the door! I can't breathe!
And you are panicking!
Open it!
Consuming oxygen! Consuming oxygen! Faster!
I cannot breathe!
Faster!
Henry! I cannot breathe! I can't breathe!
Delivery from Doc Holmes, who tells me to tell you gentlemen that, just a minute. LaSalle Medical College has taken possession of a finely formed female skeleton of about 24 years of age. Please note the density of the femora, indicating well-excised muscles of the thigh, possibly through bicycling.
During the spring of '93, I was busy, if possible, more busy than ever before. This left me with little time to attend to office duties, which gradually Miss Minnie Williams took more and more into her own hands. She occupied rooms adjoining my offices, and here, occasionally, meals were served. And if any bones have really been found in my office stove, I think it will
You cannot help yourself, can you?
I think it will be found by microscopical examination that they are remnants of such meals.
Meals to feed the eater.
Certain it is that no human being was ever cremated there during my occupancy.
And I think it'll be found by microscopical examination that when you found Minnie had property valued at $100,000, you suddenly became very interested in this woman you met in Boston. She was studying theater, so you took her to...
Plays at the Old Howard, symphonies at the Music Hall, French cuisine at the Lac Aubert. He wanted me to steal away with him to Chicago, but I had vowed to my dear departed uncle that I would finish my studies at the Boston Conservatory, and it broke my heart when my dear Harry Gordon left. I went to Denver and opened my own theater, dreaming my Harry would come see me as Fair Juliet or Queen Cleopatra. But that dream ended when my theater burned, and with it the $15,000 that I had invested.
Anything in here about Minnie coming closer to Chicago to be with her dear Harry Gordon?
Minnie!
Harry!
Sweetheart!
Oh, I've missed you so!
As have I.
Why didn't you write? When you left, I wrote you every day.
Of course I wanted to, but I've been so very busy.
Too busy for a letter?
Too busy preparing.
Preparing for what?
For you.
For me?
For us.
Us?
You know you are my treasure. You know I long to make you my wife.
What?
Surely you know.
Oh!
Does that make you happy?
Oh, Harry!
Does it?
Of course! Oh, that you will make me Mrs. Harry Gordon of Chicago.
Well, not exactly.
Not exactly.
Here I am known as Henry Holmes.
Oh, but why?
Oh, but why? How sweet. I am Henry Holmes for business reasons. Nothing to worry your dear little head. Hmm?
Oh, yes, of course, but...
You shall always have your Harry.
My Harry.
Oh, by the by, do you still have title to that little property in... Where was it?
Oh, you mean Fort Worth?
Yes, we must get that out of your name.
But, dearest, it is all I have in this world.
And do you wish to keep it?
Of course.
Well, then we must remove it from your name, if you wish to keep it.
But how will removing it from my name?
That dear artistic head of yours, do you really want it dulled by dull business?
But...
Leave that burden to me, your betrothed.
My betrothed.
Signing it over to my friend assures it will always be yours, free and clear of all taxes, and therefore worth much more.
Oh, I understand.
Do you? Of course you don't.
Of course I don't.
But I do.
Oh, but I must tell my nanny about our engagement.
Your nanny?
My sister. I call her Nanny because when I was a child, I had trouble saying Anna.
Nanny. How sweet. Well, we must have her come to visit.
Really?
Why, she must see the fair. And after all, she shall soon be my nanny as well.
Oh, Harry.
Huh? Harry?
Henry.
Yes, Henry, your betrothed.
Nanny will love you.
Of course she will.
The Midway. Lions riding horses. Tigers peddling velocipedes. Beer. Cream of wheat. Juicy fruit. Zippers.
Hoochie coochie.
exhausted.
You do look spent, sister.
Oh, I fear I am.
Go home. I'll take Nanny to the castle. She must have the grand tour.
Aren't you tired?
No, not in the least.
Oh, well. Oh, very well then. I will see you back at Wrightwood.
Off to bed with you.
Oh, I could sleep in age.
Rather dark in here, isn't it?
Is it?
These hallways are so narrow.
So the rooms are much larger.
What's up these?
These stairs? Nothing.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
They just end?
At a wall.
Why?
Why not?
Why not? You are singular, Dr. Holmes. You truly are.
Dr. Holmes. Rather formal for your soon-to-be brother Harry, don't you think?
Well, all right. Soon to be Brother Harry.
Come see my office.
For a medical visit?
Perhaps. After you. Impressed?
I am. I truly am. So love bay windows like these. Oh, these furnishings are so grand. Desk. Mahogany?
It is. Do you know who sat there at that desk?
Who?
Care to guess?
Tell me.
You will not believe me.
Soon to be Brother Harry.
It belonged to Lincoln.
President Lincoln.
I said you would not believe me.
Well, surely you do not.
Granted, it was when he was still a young lawyer in Springfield.
President Lincoln?
I tell you,
Oh my God.
each time I sit at it, it seems to communicate the heights the human spirit can attain.
May I?
Of course.
Yes. I see what you mean. You can actually feel his presence.
Can't you?
What a great spirit he was. All that he did. All that he suffered.
He did suffer. But you shan't. Well, perhaps a pinch.
Only what is real can become a dream. And only from a dream can you walk into the light. You must be true. You cannot play act in that hall. What's done is done. And there is always another.
Harry.
Georgiana! Sweetheart. Excited?
Of course. But must we wait till winter to wed?
I would wed today, but I must be off. Business matters to attend.
Must you go, my love?
I fear I must. Farewell, sweetheart.
come back to me soon?
I shall think of nothing else. Ben!
Yeah, Doc.
How is this shithole still standing? It was supposed to be cinders!
Yeah, but the fire department,
You realize that your blundering has cost me 25,000.
I can try burning it again.
Don't be a dolt! The insurance company already suspects foul play. Goddamn creditors are climbing up my ass, and burning this pig shit castle would have solved all. But now! Well, as Carnegie says, when fate hands us a lemon, let us make lemonade.
Oh, yeah? Huh?
Here's what we will do. If we can't collect insurance on the building, we will collect insurance on you.
On me?
On your life. For, I think 10,000.
Yeah,
But what?
don't I gotta be dead to collect, I mean?
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
Well, are you a complete muff?
Well,
A substitute corpse. You come to no harm and reap half the profit.
half. Shucks, that's like a couple thousand.
Something like that.
Harry!
Dearest, you look lovely.
Henry Mansfield Howard, will you have this woman to your wedded wife?
I will.
Georgiana Yoke, will you have this man to your wedded husband?
I will.
Then those whom God hath joined, let no man put asunder.
Ben!
Yeah,
Luggage!
yeah.
Where are we going?
Fort Worth.
Texas, but I thought
Well, I
we
have
were...
to take possession of some property left to me by my uncle, but while there, we shall be Mr. and Mrs. H.M. Pratt.
Oh,
Business reasons.
are you coming to bed?
Soon, dear. See it, Ben? Do you?
That dog?
The castle!
Oh, yeah, right. Just like Chicago, huh?
Like Chicago, but grander. We have much to do.
Right, so
Go.
go?
Go!
Go.
Georgiana! Dearest, we must go. We must leave.
Leave in the middle of the night?
There's no time. I've been falsely accused.
Of what?
Horse thievery.
What?
This is Texas, dear.
Carrie, honey.
Little Howard has been asking after you.
Yeah?
And the girls as
I
well.
miss him.
Is Dr. Holmes with you?
No.
No.
No, Doc ain't here. He's in St. Louis.
St. Louis, I thought you were in Fort Worth.
Yeah. We was. Things, they got changed. See, the doc has this plan of, insuring me for a lot of money, a lot, and making you the beneficiary.
Me?
Yeah.
But
But what?
don't you have to be dead to collect? I mean,
That's just what I said. But Doc says,
It's a phony death for Ben Carey. We'll find a substitute corpse in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
That's where the insurance company has its home office, so we'll be able to collect much quicker. As to where Ben's death will occur, well, we'll have to open up some sort of business. I was thinking perhaps an office for buying patents. You hold a patent, don't you, Ben?
yeah, on an automatic coal bin, and I've been meaning to tell you, Doc, I got one about a chicken and an
Harry,
egg.
let's not get distracted.
Oh, okay.
Where have you been?
Business, as usual. Something ailing you?
We've been married but 6 months, and we haven't had a minute alone.
I know.
All we've been doing is
I
traveling.
know, sweetheart, I know.
I even had to post bail for you.
How was I to know the mortgage was not recorded?
I know. I know it wasn't your fault.
Do you love me?
Of course.
I'm off to Philadelphia.
What?
Oh, that copier I financed.
Can't it wait?
You shall soon be the wife of a millionaire. You believe that, don't you?
If you say so.
I do. Say so. I'll soon send for you.
How soon?
A week. Perhaps 2, no more than 3. Even before... Even before I knew Benjamin Peitzel had a family who would later afford me additional victims for the gratification of my bloodthirstiness, I intended to kill him. But it was necessary to kill Peitzel in such a manner that no struggle or movement of his body should occur. I overcame this difficulty by getting him drunk, then binding him hand and foot. Having done that, I saturated his clothing and his face with benzene, which I ignited with a match. He cried for mercy, pleaded for a more speedy termination to his sufferings, all of which had no effect on me. I poured 1.5 ounces of chloroform into his stomach so his death would be deemed accidental. An explosion and inhalation of cleaning fluid. For 1 month, and 6 days thereafter, I took no human life.
When can I see him? When can I see my Benny?
Are you all right?
What?
You do not look well.
Oh, well, the baby is sick.
The insurance company will want a family member to identify his corpse.
His corpse?
His substitute. You must come with me to Philadelphia.
Oh, I can't. What with little Wharton being ill and me feeling poorly.
One of the girls, then.
Oh, Desi cannot. I need her here.
Who's the next eldest?
Alice.
Alice, then.
Alice is only 15.
Old enough?
She must go to Philadelphia.
She will be fine. She shall be with me.
Dear Mama, I just arrived in Philadelphia. I am going to the morgue after a while. I don't like him to call me dear and babe and all such trash. If you are worse, wire me. Love, Alice.
Oh, Alice, dear heart. Perhaps the child may wait outside until she's needed. Gentlemen, this is indeed the corpse of Benjamin Peitzel. True, it is badly burned and in an advanced state of decomposition. Still, we may identify it by the markings noted on the insurance policy. The scar on the leg. Do you see? If we peel back the skin. The bruised thumb. We remove the nail. As for the warty growth on the back of the neck. Let me cut it out. And now, perhaps a cloth to cover the face, and the child may be brought back to identify her papa's teeth.
I am in the 15th year of my age. Benjamin F. Peitzel was my father. On Saturday, September 22nd, I saw a body at the city burial ground and fully recognized that body as that of my father by his teeth. Can I go now? Back to Mother now?
You did very well, my little babe.
Are we leaving?
I am. To St. Louis.
Without me.
Aren't you comfortable here?
It's a nice enough hotel, but must I remain here alone?
A few days more.
Business.
Will we see Mother today?
Not today, sweetheart, but soon. But I'll fetch Nellie and Howard to keep you company.
But what about Ma and Pa and Desi and the baby?
You'll see them soon enough. I can take a letter to them if you wish.
Dear ones at home, I am glad to hear that you are well and that you are up. I guess you won't be having any trouble getting the money. Dr. Holmes is going to fetch you here with me and then I won't be so lonesome. Love, Alice.
Where is Alice? Is Alice with you?
She's fine.
Is she with you?
No.
Why have you not brought Alice home? And Benny, where is Benny?
Ben is fine.
Why is he not here?
Carrie.
Where is my
You're
husband?
hysterical.
Where is my child? No,
You must
no,
listen.
I am not.
Are you going to listen?
Where is my child?
You'd rather engage in histrionics.
No, please. Dr. Holmes, do not go. Please.
The insurance company may yet investigate, which is why Ben must lay low.
What does that mean?
He must relocate, and then I can take you to him.
With the children.
Yes, of course, but we must be smart about it. I will take Nellie and Howard. We'll pick up Alice.
We cannot travel together.
Did I not just say we must be smart about it?
Yes.
Did I not just say that?
baby-
Then listen, woman!
Yes, I'm sorry.
I will take Nellie, Howard, and Alice. And you will take Desi and the baby, because the insurance company will be watching for a woman traveling with 5 children. If you lead them to Benny, it will mean forfeiture and prison.
Prison?
You are part of a capital insurance fraud, my dear.
Oh, my goodness. I knew this was a bad idea.
Only
oh,
if you
goodness.
make it so. The way to become rich is to put all your eggs in one basket and then watch that basket.
What?
Stick to the plan. Go and pack.
Oh, where are we going?
Cincinnati. I have a cousin there. Children can stay with her until you arrive.
What is her name?
Nanny Williams. I think you two will have much in common.
Dear Mama, I just got a letter from you saying that the babe was cross and Desi and Grandma was sick. I hope you will all feel better soon. We have written 2 or 3 letters to you, and I guess you will begin to get them now.
Upon the 1st of October, I took the 3 Peitzel children to Indianapolis, where I engaged permanent board until such a time as I could kill 1 or more of them.
How I wish that I could see you all. How I wish that you could see what I have seen. I have seen more scenery than I have seen since I was born.
On the 8th, I went to the shop for the long knives I had left to be sharpened.
Mama, have you ever seen or tasted a red banana? They're so big that I can just reach my hand around them and have my thumb and next finger just touch. Have you gotten 4 letters besides this?
I had the boys' luggage and a stove I bought taken to the depot, and they arrived at the house at about 6 p.m.
Are you sick in bed yet, Mama? How I wish that I can hear from you.
I called the boy into the house and insisted that he go to bed, first giving him the fatal dose of poison.
Mama, Dr. Holmes is going to fetch you here with me, and then I won't be so lonesome. Love and kisses and squeezes to all.
I cut his body into pieces, and by the use of gas and corn cobs, burnt it with as little feeling as though it had been some inanimate object.
Howard is not with us now.
I have brought truth to thee.
Where is Howard?
He is not well.
Oh, his brother's sick.
Well, an infection, I fear. The poor lad is burning up. Alice, lend a hand. It's heavy.
Oh, it is heavy. What's in it?
A surprise for you.
A surprise for me, truly.
Truly. That's good. Leave it here. Well, open it, my honey. See the surprise.
Nellie? Dr. Holmes, why is sister in the trunk?
I told you it was a surprise.
Oh, but she isn't moving.
She may be dreaming.
What?
Why don't you join me? Quiet, girl! Such a fuss. These tender? Yes, these are tender. These tender and helpless children, the oldest only 15 years of age, a puny and sickly child, one would believe much younger.
A messenger was dispatched to send 2 coffins to number 16 St. Vincent Street.
Consider that for 8 years I had been as much a father as though they had been my own.
As Nellie's limbs were found resting on top of Alice, they first began with her.
Giving them a right to look to me for care and protection.
They lifted her limbs as gently as possible, but owing to the decomposed state of her body,
In your righteous judgment,
the weight of her plaited hair
let your curses
pulled her scalp
fall upon me,
from off her head.
me alone.
Harry was in an awful state. He said we had to leave Toronto and was intent on leaving at once. He said we would finally be taking the trip to Germany we had been planning. But he had a few loose ends to tie up.
Men from Fidelity Insurance came and asked questions about Henry. I told them that he was a good father and provider who loved his little daughter, but I hadn't seen him in a while because he was traveling, busy with business. A few loose ends to tie up.
Herman came back. I always knew he would. And when he saw his 13-year-old son, Robert, who has his beautiful eyes, he wept. Herman said he had been in a terrible accident and lost his memory. And it was in that state that he married another woman, a kind soul named Georgiana, who saw his suffering and found a doctor, returned his memory, and then he came back to us. Herman says that he has one more trip to make. Some business. A few loose ends.
Loose ends.
Loose ends to tie up. And then he will come back to us, to Gilmington, and be with us forever.
Harry,
Henry.
Herman.
Where is the trial of the century? Trial of the century, your trial for the murder of Ben Peitzel. Where on the first day, both of your lawyers withdrew, so you petitioned the judge to let you represent yourself. He thought you a fool, but was forced to acquiesce.
I must say, it was rather sporting, yes? Playing at lawyering, selecting jurors, calling witnesses, sparring with that great lump of a judge. I soon grew weary of it.
Of course you did. There was nothing grand in this, just mind-numbing minutia. So you had your lawyers return when Carrie Peitzel took the stand. She was asked about her dead children.
She cried.
She was asked when she last saw Ben.
She cried. The only thing that saved me from choking on her lachrymose whining was the thought of my dear little chicken.
Your dear chicken.
My chicken. You find that amusing?
Well, a chicken is...
You see, I fooled the fools again. Since I was able to pay for my own meals, I had some uncooked eggs delivered to my cell. One of them I incubated in my coat. And the dear little chick that hatched. I hid her from the guards. She grew strong and healthy. I loved caring for her, feeding her. She was with me but for a month. As all we love and love us, she died.
What terrible misfortune.
Yes.
That you cannot collect life insurance on a hen. Does the defense have any witnesses to call?
No, Your Honor, I see no need.
No need.
Because the people have utterly failed to make their case. The medical evidence the people offered does not prove Benjamin Peitzel was murdered. It could have been an accident, or he could have just as easily taken his own life. Therefore, Your Honor, reasonable doubt exists, and the defense asks that the court give the jury binding instructions on that fact.
The court declines to give any binding instructions. As triers of fact, it is the responsibility of the jury and the jury alone to determine the defendant's guilt or innocence.
The guards asked...
What in the hell are you doing?
Divining the verdict, I told them. Heads innocent, tails condemned. 10 times I consulted the coin, 9 times heads, once...
Tails. Gentlemen of the jury.
Women!
Have you reached a verdict?
Your Honor, the jury agrees.
How say you? Do you find the prisoner at the bar?
Herman
Webster.
Mudgett.
Guilty.
Herman Webster Mudgett, you have been found guilty by a jury of your peers of murder in the first degree and are hereby sentenced to hang from your neck until dead. May God have mercy on your soul.
Gentlemen, early in my life, I was thrown much in the company of an old man, upon whom I grew to look upon as almost an oracle. Often he would say to me, "He that seeks sympathy receives ridicule." Bearing this in mind, and in no sense wishing to appear as a martyr, yet more for the sake of others than for myself, I ask that for a time, at least, I be dealt with leniently. For in the name of Almighty God, and in the names of those who are near and dear to me, I state that I have not taken a human life.
Until the Hearst newspapers offered a small fortune to publish the true story of your crimes. Holmes' own story.
Well, come now, was I to ignore such an offer?
Not likely, but did it lighten your heart? Did it bring truth?
Truth. Well, yes, it was true. It was as much that I thought, as much as I could remember, as much that I thought had actually happened. Well, Hearst publishing my own story would bring an inheritance from Myrta and little Lucy.
And Hearst publishing your own story would make you remembered.
A biography.
Like Carnegie.
Rockefeller.
Morgan.
Holmes.
Holmes confesses.
27 murders.
The most awful story of modern times.
Told by the fiend in human shape.
Every detail of his fearful crimes told by the man who admits he is turning into the shape of the devil.
10 years ago, I was thoroughly examined by 4 physicians and pronounced as being both mentally and physically a normal and healthy man. Today, I have every attribute of a degenerate, a moral idiot. I am convinced that since my imprisonment, I have changed woefully and gruesomely from what I was. I'm convinced I have become afflicted with that dread disease, rare but terrible, with which physicians are acquainted but over which they have no control whatsoever. That disease is a malformation or distortion of the osseous parts. My head and face are gradually assuming an elongated shape. There is a marked deficiency of one side of my nose and of one ear, together with an abnormal increase of each upon the opposite side. A difference of 1/2 inches in the length of my arms, and an equal shortening of one leg from knee to heel, and a most malevolent malformation of one side of my face, and of one eye. I believe fully that I am growing to resemble the devil.
The devil, you say?
Some say he was bedside when I was born.
Some say he's the Lord of Lies.
1 week before the man that I knew as Dr. Henry Howard Holmes was to hang, he pleaded with me to beg the governor to grant him clemency.
The man that murdered your husband?
Who poisoned your son?
Who suffocated your daughters?
Wanted me to beg for his life.
Why?
So he could work out some business dealings to provide for me.
He also asked Frank Geyer to petition for him.
No.
Geyer?
How could he?
The detective who found the poor children?
Claimed he had a confederate actually carry out the murders and could aid Geyer in finding his true location.
When all he needed was a mirror.
When I looked in a mirror, it was him I saw. Lord of lies. God of this world. Looking back at me. In the corner of my cell lay an old iron chain. One night I formed it into a cross. I stared into it. I know not how long. Seconds? Hours? Time stood still. As light illuminated the chain and he appeared. Our Savior appeared on that chain, arms outstretched as if nailed to it, his holy wounds open and bleeding. I thought myself mad, but this was no hallucination. The Son of Man was here, in my cell. I felt my knees and crawled to him, and I lingered over him, and I kissed his bleeding wounds, and there was no savor of blood, no copper taste. Instead, it was heaven filling me, drowning me in its holy light. It was then I knew that my few remaining days in this wicked world must be spent in the embrace of the one true church. And that night I was baptized a Roman Catholic. And I slept like a babe in mother's arms. For I believed in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord. I believed in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of the body, and life everlasting.
That's good. But have you heard this one? Oh my God, I am heartily sorry for having offended thee. I detest my sins and firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to sin no more. Amen. As a good Catholic, surely you know the act of contrition.
I do.
An act that can wash away all sin, no matter how vile, no matter how many men, women, children viciously murdered in pursuit of pleasure or profit, no matter if your name is Herman, Henry, or Howard, say it, and your wretched soul goes to heaven.
Divine insurance.
That is truth, yes. 1896, 9 days shy of your 36th birthday. Tickets had been issued, but proved useless as an unruly crowd clamored their way into the gallows courtyard to see the arch-fiend and multi-murderer they had read so much about hanged. Two priests chanted last rites, and with a crucifix pressed to your chest, you climbed the gallows steps.
Gentlemen, I would make no remarks at this time were it not for my feeling that by not speaking, I would acquiesce in my execution by hanging. I wish to say at this instant that the extent of my misdoing in taking human life consists in the killing of 2 women. I am not guilty of taking the lives of the Peitzel family, the 3 children, or the father, Benjamin F. Peitzel, for whose death I am now to be hanged. This is all. Take your time, old man. Don't bungle.
Are you ready?
Yes. Goodbye.
After a struggle of 15 minutes, the arch-fiend Herman Webster Mudgett, also known as Dr. Henry Howard Holmes, was dead. At Holy Cross Cemetery, cement was poured over your body and casket because you thought this would prevent any attempt at disinterment and putting your skeleton on display, a practice you were well acquainted with, yes? I said a practice you knew quite well, the displaying and selling of skeletons. You can speak. You're not one to shun the limelight. Come now. One last question. One final truth. The 2. The 2 at the end you say you killed, the 2 women.
Women.
Who were they?
Who?
The 2 at the end. The 2 women you say you killed.
The women.
Yes.
Ah, yes. It was Julia Connor and Emmeline in the safe.
Only them.
Only them.
And this is final truth. This lightens your heart.
If I had murdered others, why not admit it? How would it profit me now?
For what shall it profit a man if he is to gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Sorry, wrong gospel, yes? There is no business in America, I do not care what, which will not yield a fair profit if it receive the unremitting, exclusive attention and all the capital of capable and industrious men. Gospel of Andrew. Carnegie. Your true book, yes? There never was a great character who did not sometimes smash. Sometimes smash. Come, this is your truth. Sometimes smash.
Sometimes smash. Sometimes smash the routine regulations and make new ones for himself.
There never was.
There never was. There never was. There never was.
Go on.
There never was a great character who did not sometimes smash the routine regulations and make new ones for himself. The rule is only suitable for such as have no aspiration. Have you not forgotten that you were meant to be owners? And to make orders and break orders. Stand up like a man, speak boldly, aim for the highest.
The highest! The highest!
Break
Highest!
orders always.
Always!
Put all your eggs in one basket.
1 eggs!
The man of business knows that only by years of unremitting, patient attention to affairs can he earn his reward.
His reward!
A reward which is not the result of chance,
No!
but of well-devised means for the attainment of ends.
Yes!
My advice to you is to aim high.
High!
I would not give a fig, not a fig, for the young man who does not already see himself the partner or the head of an important firm.
The head!
Say,
The head!
each to yourself, my place is at the top.
The top!
Be.
king in your dreams.
King! I had a castle once, but now I had a wife once and a son, but now I had a wife once and a daughter, but now I had a wife once, but now I had dreams once, but now, in truth, I have come to thee.
Thank you.